Welcome back to my channel, Dr. Rajiv Sikruria Talks. In today's lecture, we will discuss the part 3 of Introduction to Economics. And the objectives of today's session will be types of economy. Then, second objective is to discuss the branches of economics and the subject matter of the economics of those branches. Then, finally, we will deal with the how economics is closely related to our life. So, in the previous lecture, we have dealt with the nature of economics, and the last point which I want to discuss about the nature of economics is the dynamicity of the subject. See, we have seen the different definitions, we have also seen the different phases of economic development. So, it is implied that economics is not only static but also the dynamic. So, in the duration of the time we can see a lot of the changes we can see. We have also witnessed that the things have changed radically, and we can also understand that economics is all about the changes. So in the previous time we have seen the economics as a wealth definition, then we came to the welfare definition, then we came to the scarcity definition, and finally we moved to the growth related definition. So this tells us that the economics is dynamic with the time. So as soon as the time changes, as the things are changing, the economics is the subject matter of economics as well as the things also changes. Now come to the types of economy or the economic structures. So basically we have the three types of economy. One, the capitalist economy. So in the capitalist economy, what is the characteristic? That all the resources are owned by the private sector, and they are owned as well as regulated and controlled by the private sector, and the factors of production is in the hands of the private body or the private sector. For example, the countries, I'm putting the names of the countries like Hong Kong, United Arab Emirates, then Canada, Switzerland, and Australia. These are the countries which are having the capitalist economy. So to understand that the profit motive is the main or the primary objective of such economy, and these people have the big say in the government formation and the government decision making. So capitalist economies have the higher pace also. We have seen that they move with the profitability. Then the socialist economy comes into picture, and these economy, what happens? The factors of production are under the control of the government, and they are being regulated by the government. And example for such economies are China, Cuba, Vietnam, and North Korea. So we can see that their pace is all right. Then as compared with the third world countries, so their pace is all right. But if we talk about the Cuba and Vietnam, they are having not and even the North Korea, their economic growth rate is a little bit slow. But the China growth rate is faster because they are having the other modes of regulation too. Then the next form of the economy is the mixed economy. And in the mixed economy, what happens? The factors of production and non-factors both are under the control of private sector as well as the government sectors, and the ownership, control, and regulation of the resources is in the hands of as I have told you, the private sector as well as the government sector. And the example for the mixed economy are uh, India, USA, and France. Then coming to the branches of economics, see, it's a bigger subject matter, and I have tried to cover a lot of the things, but there may be some branches which I haven't taken, but the prominent branches I have taken. So first branch, which is very common to everyone, it's the microeconomics. So the microeconomics term has been derived from micros. Micros means small, and it's a Greek word. And since this subject deals with the pricing theory, factor pricing, and theory of economic welfare, so I will be dealing in a great detail. So first of all, it is at the micro level or the smaller level. So we study the firms and the industries, not the bigger sectors. So the people associated, who are the people, you must be curious to know who are the people associated with the microeconomics. So the Alfred Marshall, Adam Smith, and K.E. Boulding. These were the people associated with microeconomics. Now, the subject matter, what we study in the microeconomics exactly. So, in the microeconomics, we study the pricing theory, and in the pricing theory, we have the demand theory. In the demand theory, we study law of demand, supply also, demand forecasting, and demand analysis. Then theory of production. In this, we study the short run production function and the long run production function. And cost. So cost associated with the production. In this cost, we study the long run cost and short run cost. And the cost will be related with the average cost, marginal cost, and incremental cost. Now, factor pricing, as the name suggests us, that we in this part the microeconomics deals with the pricing of the factors. So we have the four factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. So the theory of distribution or the factor pricing here comes into picture. On the land, we provide rent. So rent is the factor pricing for the land. Then wages are the factor prices for labor, and interest is the factor pricing for the capital, and profits is the factor pricing for the capital. And theory of economic welfare is the third part of microeconomics. In this, we study economic welfare activities done by the state government and the central government, maybe the NGOs also. So now move to the macroeconomics. It's the next branch of economics. In this is the branch which is related with the bigger sector or the larger sector, and the term has been derived from the Greek word which is named as a macros. So macros means bigger or the larger. So when we study the economics at the national level or at the bigger level, it becomes the macroeconomics. And the people associated with the macroeconomics are J.M. Keynes, Robert Malthus, Karl Marx, Leon Walras, and Irving Fisher. And now come to the subject matter of economics, macroeconomics. The subject matter is, see here the macroeconomics has been divided into the four part. One, the theory of income and employment. So here we study the aggregate income, aggregate output, and the national employment level. Then part B is related with the theory of general pricing level and inflation rate of the economy. Then theory of economic growth, and finally the macroeconomic distribution, which is dealing with the relative shares of wages and profits of entrepreneurship and laborers. Now next branches I have covered is the managerial economics. In the managerial economics we study the applied part of the economics. So it's a decision making science in the business sector and deals with the critical issues and optimal production and resource allocation. So here the manager is more concerned about the resource allocation and the optimum utilization of the resources. Move to the next part or next branch. It's the industrial economics, which is related to the calculation and decision making with respect to the industry. So industry, we are more focused on the industry, specific industry, and in that industry we are talking about the output, industrial output, demand forecast of the product, then profitability calculation, then cost profit volume analysis, CVP analysis, cost volume profit analysis, then break even point analysis. Then econometrics is the science which is related with the engineering background people, and it is focusing on the derivations, mathematical derivations and deductions, and we can come to the new laws, we can go for the new derivations and new principles for economics. This is the emerging science and more focused on the research and developmental aspect of economics. Now come to the next branch, which is the agriculture economics. This economics deals with the agriculture sector, and in this we try to optimize the agricultural produce, economizing the agriculture activities too. Then transportation economics, it deals with the transportation issues related to the railways, roadways, shipping industry and aircraft industry. Now I would like to tell about the Indian connection of economics. See, the politico-economics was separated in 1723 by Adam Smith. He is said to be the father of modern economics. Now I want to tell you that economics in India is the gift to the world, and actually it dates back from the time of Kautilya, and you must be surprised that this time is 350 BC to 275 BC. So this is in the BC, not in the even AD. And his name is also Chanakya, Vishnugupta or Kautilya, and he has authored one book which is named as the Arthashastra, and it's the science which deals with the material gains. So it is for your information that it is not only the modern economics which we say the Adam Smith is the father of modern economics. If we come to the roots of the economics, it is the Chanakya or Vishnugupta or the Kautilya. So thank you for watching this lecture.